Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is April Butler with Texas Parks and Wildlife. We're excited that you have come to learn more about the Post Oak Ridge State Park site and want to share your thoughts to help us create a vision for what the park is to become. Please note that there is a Spanish translation of this video available. The acquisition and development of Post Oak Ridge directly aligns with our mission's goals of providing conservation and recreational opportunities for the public. Our agenda for this evening is to discuss the need for more state parkland. We will provide an overview of the Centennial Fund, walk you through our acquisition and development strategy, introduce our project team, talk through our goals for today, explain what a public use plan is, let you all know where we are right now in the process, provide site context, share what we know so far. Then we will share an early preliminary concept for discussion. At the conclusion of this presentation, there will be a QR code that will take you directly to our online survey. We encourage you to complete that survey and please share it with anyone who may be interested. I would like to share our main project contacts with you all. This information is also available on the park's website. Again, my name is April Butler and I am the development coordinator. I am relatively new to the agency, but my background is in park planning and development. Also on the team is Maria Malone. Maria is our Centennial Park Planner, and Casey Sloan, who is our Park Superintendent. Next, Maria will walk us through the need for more state parkland and provide an overview of the Centennial Fund.
Thank you, April. Hi everyone, my name is Maria Malone and I am the Centennial Park Planner. I've been with the agency for a number of years, but I am so excited to step into this new role. As you may or may not know, there is a real need for additional parkland in the state of Texas. You see that red dot on the screen? That's Travis County. If you combine the total acreage of all our state parks, it will fit inside that county. And half of that is Big Bend Ranch State Park. I was shocked when I heard the statistic. Clearly, we have some work to do. Land is being fragmented at an exponential rate. Roughly 1,000 acres of rural land, or the equivalent of a McKinney Falls State Park, is lost to development every day. Market values are increasing rapidly, and we as the state are expected to pay fair market value for these properties, not some exorbitant amount. You put all that together, and the time to buy land is now. That brings us to the Centennial Parks Conservation Fund. First of all, I want to say thank you, Texans. This endowment was passed with overwhelming support from the voters in 2023, so without all of you, we would not be here today. Since this is an endowment, we are only able to spend the interest on that billion-dollar fund, so we will be adding parks for generations to come. Post Oak Ridge State Park is one of 4 projects currently being developed with this fund. That means we must work to balance the needs and priorities of all 4 properties when considering what to include in this park. With this new fund also comes a timeline. We want to get Texans out on these parks as soon as possible, so within 12 months of acquisition, we are offering guided public access. At Post Oak, this is happening right now. This looks like special events, public hunts, and guided hikes, which some of you may have joined us for on January 1st. Within 18 months of closing, we will be offering facilitated public day use. At Post Oak, this will be available in September of 2026, so right around the corner. You will have access to a trailhead parking lot, a vault toilet, and 2 hiking destinations utilizing the existing Ranch Road network. You will be able to make reservation online, receive a gate code, and start enjoying the property. Within 48 months of closing, the park will be fully opened. Building upon the day use opportunities in that initial opening, we will be adding an array of overnight opportunities, like tent camping, mini cabins, or RVs. We will also be making improvements to the roads, utilities, and back-of-house facilities to support the full public use. The Centennial Parks Conservation Fund is just one of the tools in our tool belt. As you can see here, the red stars represent the 4 properties that are being developed with this fund. We're also developing new parks using the sporting goods sales tax, like Palo Pinto in the DFW area, which some of you may have visited for first day hikes, or Powderhorn down on the coast. In addition to new parks, we are also making improvements to our existing parks, like the new headquarters at Inks Lake, or expanding properties such as Caprock Canyons or Lake Brownwood State Parks. When a property comes to us, how do we decide it would make a good state park? Well, we have 6 mission-critical categories that we use to evaluate each property. The first is high resource value. We want to ensure that the resources on the property are something of statewide significance. At Post Oak, this looks like the iconic Post Oak Ridge, or Yancey Creek, one of the most pristine creeks in Texas. Next, we look for a strategic location. We want to make parks where the people are. So think the Texas Triangle, the Rio Grande Valley, East Texas, and those destination parks where people will want to travel to. We also look at the recreational value. Just because a property would be suitable for conservation does not mean it necessarily makes a good state park. We want to know that there are plenty of opportunities for our visitors to safely interact with and enjoy the outdoors. Next, we look at economic and development feasibility. We want to guarantee the property could actually be operated as a state park. For example, do we have road access to bring the public to the property? After that, we look at legal considerations. In other words, is this fish good to eat? And finally, we look at stakeholder support. It's very important that both the local community as well as our conservation partners support the development of a property into a state park. So here you see a quintessential state parks moment, a family enjoying swimming at Inks Lake State Park. You might be asking yourself, what did they build here? You don't see any roads, there's no headquarters or cabins, but there's a lot that goes into a state park that may not be immediately apparent. Building a new park is like building a small city from scratch. These sites are remote, so we often can't connect to city utilities and need to build a new water or wastewater plant. While we do have existing ranch roads, we need to improve these to be suitable for safe public use and emergency response needs. We also have to build all the components necessary for a state park to function, like those day use, overnight, and operational facilities. Lastly, we want to create an inclusive and expansive trail network, whether that is hiking, biking, equestrian, interpretive, or more. Building a city takes a great team. Here at Texas Parks and Wildlife, we are lucky to have a wide range of experts that work with us, from architects and engineers to biologists and archaeologists. We also work with outside entities, such as counties and utility providers, to develop the best park possible. For this project, we have also contracted an external firm to lead the design of our public use plan. Studio Outside, who you will hear from shortly, is the prime consultant on this project and has built an amazing team full of knowledge on everything from accessibility to sustainability. Working with them has been such a pleasure, and we're very excited to show you the early concepts. And with that, I will pass it to Sebastian from Cultural Strategies.
Tonight, we want to hear from you. We want to establish a foundation of understanding, build a better knowledge about the site, consider the opportunities that are available on this unique property. We want to learn from you about your thoughts on this park asset so that all of these might work together to build the ultimate vision for the public use plan. This is one of 2 opportunities for public engagement related to the creation of the public use plan. This presentation and the accompanying online survey, and then we will be back in June to discuss how we've responded to this feedback to deliver the ultimate vision for the site.
My name is Andrew Duggan with Studio Outside. We are a landscape architectural design firm and honored to be working on this most impactful project. To start, what exactly is a public use plan? We begin with gaining an understanding of the site and its unique ecology, watersheds, and topography. The public use plan will identify what areas should be developed as the primary destination. This plan will become the overall vision for what Post Oak Ridge can support in terms of park development. We will also outline an array of secondary supporting destinations and a connective trail network. When we set the final long-term vision, it is likely that our 4-year timeline will not allow for all of it to be realized as part of Phase 1. The public use plan helps us set aside some areas for future investment while prioritizing what should be built now to achieve an inspiring Phase 1 state park. We are still early in this process, which is why we want your input. Here is what we have accomplished so far. Over the summer, our team explored the property with Texas Parks and Wildlife staff. There are over 3,000 acres to cover with a wide range of natural and cultural resources to document. TPWD conducted a biological assessment and inventory of species along Yancey Creek. As part of our planning process, we hosted a staff discovery workshop to discuss the various factors that affect development and identify the guiding principles for Post Oak Ridge State Park. Now we want your feedback. What is most important to you? Let's learn a bit more about this unique property. The site sits in the middle of the state in the Hill Country region and is on the edge of the Edwards Plateau, a significant geologic system that spans several counties. It is about an hour and a half from Austin, 2.5 hours from San Antonio, and 3.5 hours from the DFW area. And more locally, Post Oak is about a half hour west of Lampasas on the east bank of the Colorado River. Primary access to the park will be via County Road 105 to the southeast, which will be improved as a separate project. While Post Oak is smaller than Colorado Bend in total acreage, it still boasts 2 miles of river frontage and plenty of land to explore. The park looks to complement but not compete with or duplicate the array of experiences that are already offered across the river. Our assessment process has begun to reveal a number of interesting features and sensitive habitat zones. We mapped a broad array of ecological zones. Understanding these areas will help us route trails and define other destinations on the site. The juniper woodlands are dense and provide habitat for the endangered golden cheek warbler. Many nesting pairs have been observed as part of TPWD site research, which is great news for this rare bird species. Park experiences will be framed by dynamic landscape views across canyons and through savannas. The Colorado River and its cliffs also offer unique experiences, including views of the adjacent Post Oak Falls, which is across the river from the new park. The Colorado River itself is stunning, and the shoreline features a meandering flat zone that butts up against the steep cliffs and rocky canyons. Various canyons and creeks traverse the site, draining into Yancey Creek, a hill country stream system that is pristine and will be sensitive to development impacts. Wildlife is diverse, including deer and many upland and lowland species. The central ridge holds an old-growth stand of post oak trees thought to be over 300 years old. This ecosystem is unique in the region and is of statewide significance. Care will be taken with any development around these trees as they are very sensitive to disturbance. Our team has studied and merged all of the site assessment layers into a composite map of the park, yielding a picture of its overall sensitivity. A simple way to think about this graphic is that the darker the color, the more sensitive that particular area would be to development impacts. For example, steep slopes, wetlands, and creek corridors are all considered more sensitive, while a flat meadow that has a ranching history would be considered less sensitive. This map will guide our planning so that park development does not damage the natural ecologies that make this site so special. Our assessment reveals that at least half of the site has a medium to high sensitivity ranking, which will limit in where we construct new roads and buildings. We also need to be mindful of buffer zones around the park boundaries against adjacent private properties. We have a preliminary concept to share and help you imagine how the park may evolve. This is a working program list of the types of amenities that may be offered, including an array of camping options, trail types, day use activities, and other amenities. Let's return to the base map, north being up, with the Colorado River and Colorado Bend State Park to the west. and the entry to the park by way of County Road 105 at the southeast corner of the property. The site has an interesting array of scenic destinations and overlook opportunities. The park road will enter from the southeast and meander toward a ticketing headquarters building where guests may check in and gain information about the park. Operational facilities will be situated nearby, including a maintenance area and staff residences. The road system past the headquarters will serve both day use and overnight areas. Various trailheads will serve as launch points to different zones of the park, while a nature center may serve as a centralized place to learn about the unique ecology of the site. Overnight facilities may include RV sites, mini cabins, developed campsites with utilities, and primitive campsites. Finally, a system of trails connects all destinations, both overnight and day use. Connections to Colorado Bend State Park are also being explored, whether that may be a seasonal low water crossing or a pedestrian bridge across the river.
Thank you for watching this presentation and participating in the online survey. It will be open and available through February 20th, 2026. We look forward to receiving your input and seeing you again in June at the next meeting. Thank you very much.